Welcome to the locker room, and we're back with our second ever podcast. And today we're talking about the NBA. We're going to talk about the NBA first. Then we have hot takes and the draft.
Draft.
So with the NBA, I want to start off with the playoffs. We're in playoff season right now. Who do you got winning all that in that series?
I have the Kings. Kings in six.
Kings in six.
Kings in
Okay.
six. Even
I know
though
I've seen that you did like the Kings, that you had them as like a favorite in
I
your
did.
draft.
I
Your
did.
playoffs.
Even when it was 2-0, I said Kings in six. I knew the Warriors aren't getting swept, but now it's 2-2. It's good. So I don't know. De'Aaron Fox, he said he was out with a hand injury. So
Yeah,
really need
Darren
Malik
Fox on
Monk,
the
some of those other guys to step up. Matthew Dellavedova. We've seen him guard Curry before, so let's see if Matthew Dellavedova can get it done again. Kings in six. They just need to win these next two games, and the games they've lost and won, all those games have been decided by like 5 points or less, from what I've seen. Maybe
Yeah, their
like
last game was just
yeah,
1 point. I
one
mean,
point. I mean, all the
if the
games have
Kings would have
been
made that
like that.
final shot,
So it just comes down to like pretty much the last couple minutes, locking up, whatever. Anything can happen in that series. Anyone can take it home. Anyone that wants it can take it home. So that series is really up for the taking. It's just whoever comes out and plays better that night. So it's really not a skill difference, big gap, anything like that. It's a really good series.
yeah. I've seen. Then we have the Lakers and Grizzlies, which is another interesting series because of Ja. He got injured in, I don't know if it was the first or second game, but he broke his hand or did something bad with his hand.
Yeah.
And then he came back last night. He dropped 45 points, even with their. I'm pretty sure they lost, and dropped 45, and he managed to get injured again.
Yeah,
The fourth.
45 with
That
the
was
injury,
hamstring.
and 45 injury and a loss. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got Dylan Brooks, who is, I think, is the most hated basketball player in
Oh
the
yeah,
NBA right
Dylan Brooks is just he's something. But the Lakers are up 2-1 right now. I mean, they play tonight. They have their fourth game tonight. So if
now.
Grizzlies can win that, if Dylan Brooks, can pull through, I guess to say, then that would put a series up tied 2-2. Put it also in a position like the Kings and the Warriors. But the 76ers just finished off their series on Saturday. They swept the Nets. I mean, and the final game wasn't even all that great. It was 96 to 88. Like, this is the NBA playoffs.
I like Mikal Bridges, honestly. As a player, like I actually like watching Mikal.
I mean, yeah, and then Denver's up 3-0 right now in their series. I think they play 3-1 in their series.
Yeah,
Timberwolves
I think
survived.
Timberwolves just got their first win last night in overtime.
Survived in overtime, keep that series alive, but we don't. They're not gonna.
No, I got the Nuggets. I expect them
Timberwolves aren't gonna.
to sweep.
Yeah, I mean, Nuggets are gonna finish them off next game, and then we have
And then you
Bucks
got
Heat
oh,
right
sorry.
now, which is end of the third quarter. Bucks are up by 11, looking to tie that series up 2-2. So there's a lot of good series right now that could be tied up or are looking to be tied up. Celtics, they're gonna win tomorrow. I feel like they're winning that matchup tomorrow. They're gonna be the second team to finish off their series. Clippers, Suns are also gonna finish them off tomorrow. I feel like that's another series that's gonna end. Let's see what else we have here, and that's pretty much all of them. Knicks, Cavaliers. I feel like the Knicks are gonna finish that off too, on Wednesday whenever they play.
Yeah.
Cavs maybe if they pull something out, but
Just,
they're down
they
3-1.
just need their best from Garland and Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean that's a good
Play their
front, but
Yeah, they're young. I mean, I had Knicks winning just because the Cavaliers are such a young team. I feel like they have so many years ahead of them. Like, I feel like the
yeah,
Cavaliers will be a championship team next 5 years.
for
But
sure.
right now, I don't. I think they're too young of a squad to get
But
the
yeah, I
first round.
mean Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett versus Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson. I mean that's been very fun to watch. 3-1 right now though. Any 3-1s, I like the team that has 3 wins automatically. I mean they're just in such a good position. You're already up. Even if you lose your next 2 games, you're still 1 game off winning it. They just need to win one more game compared to 3. And the only team that's really historically done it recently is the 2016. I think it was 2018 Cavaliers. 2016, 2018. It was one. I think
Yeah,
it was 2018. It was one of those years. LJ, the not the goat, the second goat, but you know, that's a later discussion. But I mean, that's really the only time we've seen it done. Those are really all the series right now, all the good series. The West has been really good. The East has been, I mean, Bucks and Heat has been really good in the East.
It's
Cavs,
just
Knicks, it's just
it's
been a lot of
this
blowouts.
playoff has just been filled with underdogs showing how
Yeah,
they can play and injuries. Like the top players being injured.
those
We already know
injuries are
Anthony
killer.
Davis are gonna come in the playoffs and get injured,
Yeah,
and then get injured and get injured. I saw a picture of him like his like throughout the years of his career, all the injuries on his body, and it was just like his whole body was filled with injuries. It's crazy how this
it's
guy's
just
just a walking.
just so unpredictable. You just don't know. Anyone could go out at any time. You just don't know what's gonna happen. Anyone could hit a game-winning shot. Anyone could get a steal, block. Anyone can make a big play in a big moment. So it's the same thing. It's like March Madness, especially. Like you look back on March Madness. Now, something that can translate to the NBA. These are all guys that have played in March Madness. They know the craziness and all that. So NBA playoffs is really, it's more predictable, but it's still a tournament and there's more leeway. It's best of 7. It's not just a one game, one and done. That's why I think it's more of chalked up. It's because you have best of 7. If you don't play well one game, the dogs can come
Yeah.
out and just clean up the rest of the series. But it has been good, especially that Kings Warriors series. To watch it down the whole stretch, that's been real good. I'm excited to see how that series ends up. I wouldn't be surprised if that goes to a game 7. Honestly, I would not be surprised if that goes to game 7. But that's all we have for the NBA segment. Connor, you have anything else you want to wrap up with?
No, that's all. I mean, go Heat.
Go Heat. And I got Kings and 6. NFL hot takes. Second segment right before the draft. So some of this is going to be draft related hot takes. But to start off, right before the draft segment, I feel like it's only right to have an NFL draft hot take. So mine, I've been hanging on to this since before the Combine. Combine just amplified this hot take for me even more. Made it even hotter. Made it even spicier. So Anthony Richardson, I have a whole video on him on the channel. Anthony Richardson is a dog. He's a beast. And for me, in the draft class, he is QB1 over Stroud, over Young, over Levis. I have him as QB1. I think anyone has him over Levis. But QB1 over Stroud and Bryce Young.
Levis is a better than Richardson.
Levis puts mayonnaise in his coffee. He's automatically eliminated from any of that talk. He's
Bro,
not.
I'm telling you, Levis is top 3 quarterback in that draft class.
Levis is top 5 on a good day. All right.
Mm-mm.
Levis is not. Levis is going to be 5 every time for me. All right. I have Hendon Hooker over Will Levis. I trust Hendon Hooker coming off the ACL more than I trust Will Levis coming out of Kentucky. All right. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee. He eats bananas with the peel. I do not trust him one bit. If he was in my locker room, I'm staying 10 feet away from him at all time. I'm not getting close to him. All right. If it's bring your daughter to work day, she's staying away from Will Levis. All right. I'm.
Sorry, bro, you're flaming Will Levis for no reason right now, man.
He's
better than he's back.
no reason. The man puts mayonnaise in his coffee. He's not. There's. Well, I want to hear his reason behind putting mayonnaise in his coffee.
He actually does put mayonnaise in his coffee.
Yeah, exactly, and it's disgusting. As an avid coffee lover,
Have you tried it?
as an avid coffee lover, I've been drinking coffee since I was like 8 years old. It's probably not healthy. That's like,
Have you tried
listen,
mayonnaise in your coffee?
I haven't tried it, and I'm not going to, because I don't like mayonnaise in the first place. I love coffee, and I don't like mayonnaise in the first place. So why would I put mayonnaise in my coffee if I don't even like it in the first place? I love coffee. All right, I use creamer. We've been using organic creamer recently. All right, so it's been all right. I mean, organic creamer, it actually wasn't bad this morning, but the hazelnut creamer I usually use, that would clear mayonnaise by a landslide.
Starbucks drinks.
Mayonnaise.
Those little Starbucks drinks you get in the glass bottle.
Look,
They're like yay big.
oh yeah, they're not. They're about like.
Yeah.
They're about like that. Those are pretty good.
They're good.
I guarantee you they don't use mayonnaise in those. You're not gonna flip over to the ingredient side and see mayonnaise in it. But Will Levis.
I'll tell you about it. That's a secret sauce.
Maybe Will Levis works for
So, Will
Starbucks.
Levis, like,
Maybe in the off season he's a barista at Starbucks. But Will Levis, 5. This hot take wasn't even about Will Levis. You just got me started on coffee and everything. All right, Anthony Richardson, number 1 QB1 in this draft class. I have him over Stroud. I have him over Young. What do you think about that?
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Personally, Stroud is the best quarterback in the draft.
I'm all right with that.
He's good. I like Stroud over Richardson and Levis and Bryce Young.
I like
I think
Stroud.
CJ Stroud's one.
I like Stroud. I have him right behind Richardson, literally right behind him. I like him over Young too. I like him over Levis too. I like him over Hooker too. I just like Anthony Richardson. I don't know. I think they could go hand in hand. I think you'll be fine if you draft either one of those guys. I think Bryce Young too. I think it'll be fine if you draft any three. It's a good quarterback class. I think you're fine if you draft any three of them. It's just preference of what fits your system the best.
And when people say like Bryce Young's height, I don't think height has anything to do with how he's gonna perform. I mean, like it has something to do, but you can't just be like.
He's a stud though. He's a stud though. He's gonna find a way to ball out still. He's not gonna let that like get in his way. He's a stud. I don't care. All right. Do you have any more hot takes, or do you want me to bring another spicy one to the table?
Nah, you go ahead and bring the next one.
Second one. All right. Shout out Aaron Rodgers, official finally after all this time of waiting, to the New York Jets. All right.
Going to the best division in football.
It is the best division in football. You know, I have this Bills fan right next to me. All right, and as a Dolphins fan, so we are two experienced fans in that division, bringing up a third power team, the Jets, in that division. And the hot take is the Jets are still finishing bottom half of that division. They're finishing third, right above the Patriots, below the Bills. All right, they're finishing third because the Dolphins
win. To be honest, we can't put them at fourth just because the Patriots are going to be horrendous this season. They're not going to get a division win.
No.
I think the Patriots are going to be absolutely horrible. They haven't got nothing.
I feel
we're sticking with Mac.
Mac Jones is just something.
He's Zach Wilson.
2.0.
Different way.
Yeah, he's a fatter Zach Wilson. But I feel like the Dolphins Bills, you could exchange them either way at the top of that division at the end of the year. But the Jets, I know you said something. Yeah, I know you said something over there.
Oh, you can't slow you on there.
But the Jets are finishing third in that division, bottom half of that division. They're not finishing in the top half of that division. All right, the Dolphins, I don't know if we're going to sweep them. We'll beat them. We might split 1-1. We're not getting swept, I'll tell you that for sure. If anyone's getting swept, it's the Jets. I think we can say the same for the Bills, too. Yeah, no one's... The only team that's realistically getting swept in our division is the Patriots by any team in that division. They're getting swept by, like... Patriots, I would be surprised if they had more than, like, 9 wins. I mean,
the Jets are just, like... They're a good team, but again, like... They're a young team. Like, a few years, I can see the Jets being maybe top. But, like... The thing is weird. It's like they have such a young team, but then they bring in this old quarterback that is only going to be healthy for a couple more years. That's not going to stick with these young dudes.
It's going to be
weird. So they're going to have their quarterback at some point, and if they want to win a Super Bowl, make the playoffs, they have only a limited time to do that.
Yeah. And when that time comes, that shift is going to be very weird. It's going to be very awkward, going from a veteran Hall of Fame QB to whatever bum they draft next. I mean.
Half the people on this team probably watched Rodgers while he was playing in the NFL while they were sitting in high school.
High school, they're probably like in diapers.
Yeah, I mean he's old.
I mean, Sauce Gardner.
They do love him. We've already seen that. They hate Zach Wilson. I feel bad for Zach Wilson, honestly. Like he probably does not go to practice or locker room. Like, he probably gets bullied.
Yeah, he's just like.
I mean, he is bad player ability.
He looks like he'd play a quarterback in a Disney movie.
What do you expect when you pick someone out of BYU?
I mean, yeah. He looks like he's supposed to be an actor in a Disney movie. Like he's acting as a quarterback, but actually if I saw that dude on the street and he came up to me and said, I'm a top 2 draft pick in the NFL draft, I would laugh at him and walk away. All right. I would say, good one.
Can I get a picture?
I'm like, yeah, let me get a picture. When's the movie coming out, you know? So... Zach Wilson, we're just dogging on people for no reason now. Zach Wilson is terrible. Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets. Bottom half of the division. He's a Jets player. What does he expect? The Jets are always going to be like a little brother to us in the division. I mean, no matter how good they get, there's still all those years of them sucking behind them. So.
I mean, Dolphins weren't really that.
We weren't that much better. We were not that. Yeah, we were not that much better. But we picked it up sooner than they did, so I can talk. All right, that Tyreek Hill trade will forever be in my heart. And Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, Jalen Ramsey too. Bring him on. Bring them all on. Bring all the Jalen's on. They're all
Yeah,
studs.
Diggs got to get that work in.
Jalen, and Jalen. They're all ballers. But then I have a third hot take. All right, a third final hot take. This one I have not talked to you about before. This one is new to you. All right, this one is just in my head. I thought of this a couple minutes ago. The 49ers. All right. The San Francisco 49ers, the team that have been to Super Bowls recently, NFC conference titles recently, division winners multiple times these past couple years, are not going to be good this year. They're going to be bad this year. All right. I feel like with what they did at QB last year, that culture shift, that awkward situation they're going to be put in, because after Purdy playing all those games balling out, he's going to want to start, obviously.
Yeah.
So they might start him, they might not. Trey Lance, that might build a little bit of butting heads, maybe weird relationship there. Kyle Shanahan might not know what to do exactly. I mean, he's a good coach. He'll figure it out. But maybe not in the win section. Maybe not in the win column. Maybe after all this drama in the QB situation, that kind of tanks their record a little bit. I'm not saying the 49ers are going to be absolutely terrible. I'm not saying they're going to be Bears, Lions. Well, not Lions. Bears, Texans type bad this season.
Not perform as like.
Just not
what?
The Niners.
Yeah.
They're going to have like 9 wins. That's why they're going to be called the Niners this season. I mean, they might sink into the playoffs like we saw with the Seahawks this year. But if they don't, I wouldn't be head exploding. I feel like they're just a team that's going to drop off a lot. I feel like they're a team that's going to underperform. Like the Raiders. Everyone thought the Raiders were going to be really, really good this year. They just couldn't figure it out. That's my team this year. The 49ers. Broncos too. That's a team I have this year. The 49ers not really know what to do. They're kind of in this weird in-between position, not knowing what to do, and they're stuck, and they don't get as many wins this season. Again, it's a hot take, so I could be completely wrong and look stupid, and they just perform like they always do. But the 49ers are not going to meet as many expectations this year. That is my 3 hot takes. Connor, I know he doesn't have really anything else to add, so let's go on to the third and final segment, NFL Draft Frenzy.
For the third segment in the podcast, we will be talking about the draft picks and NFL draft that's coming up in short 3 days. Can't really count. I think it's 3.
It is 3.
And I'm going to start off with a guy that has some sleeper picks, and I'm going to start with a guy that I liked looking at for the Bills at safety because when we went into the offseason, I for sure thought we were losing Poyer.
I thought we were taking Poyer, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, dang, the Dolphins are going to, I mean, I would have hated that, but so I was looking in the safeties, and a guy that I really liked that I looked at, and I wanted to go to the Bills for a little bit, but now that we got Poyer back, I don't really want him, but it's Antonio Johnson, a safety out of Texas A&M, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And he's a stud. I was watching highlights and film of him. He is so good. Like,
yeah.
I hope to whatever team he goes to, he gets a role and he gets to be used. I feel like he's going to be a standout, you know?
He's really good. He flies around the field. I think I had you guys mocking him in the original TLR mock draft, too. Yeah. Pick 27? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep. I had you guys mocking him. So, a guy that I really want to talk about. All right, you got Antonio Johnson. I have Bijan Robinson. All right, RB1 hands down in this class. There's no
to the Bills.
dude. If
not, but...
I don't, because I had him mocking at 26 to the Cowboys, but looking back at it, you know, running backs are a very controversial topic nowadays. Like owners, GMs don't know where to take them. 8 seems like really, really early, but 26 for a guy of Bijan Robinson's caliber, it seems kind of late too. I don't know. Like we saw Najee Harris 24, Kenneth Walker like 43. Like we see all these great guys going off the board like really, really late. Like there wasn't an RB. There wasn't any running backs in the first round last draft.
I feel like the running back position is just like you can really find anyone and he can turn out to be good. You know, the Chiefs found Isaiah Pacheco in maybe the 6th or 5th round last year.
It was like 7th round.
And then you got Tony Pollard. You know, he's the starter in Dallas now.
He's raw too.
And he's
really
good.
Raw. He's better than Zeke those past 3 years they had him. 2 or 3 years they had him.
Has Zeke got picked up yet?
I don't think so. I've seen all the training videos of him moving really slow, moving like a bus, but
I hope the Bills don't
He's,
get him.
if the Dolphins get him, I might have to log off. But I mean, Bijan Robinson, that's what I'm saying. You can find anyone nowadays, but I feel like Bijan, after watching him and mocking him for the past 2-3 years at Texas, he is so dang good. I had Bijan before we didn't know if he was going to declare or not for last year's draft. When I was in third block English, all right, I was mocking every day. That's all I did. I passed Falon's class with a 93. So I was mocking every day. I had Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker going like back to back every single draft because they're both raw. They're both studs. And now that Kenneth Walker is not in this draft class, it's all Bijan. Like, it's literally his draft. There's no running back, I think, that even comes close to Bijan Robinson. It kind of drops off after Bijan. So you have Tanks Bigsby, and then you have Sean Tucker, but there are still a while back from Bijan. I have Bijan. I have him going in the first round. I don't know whether to put him at 8 or like 28. I don't know, anywhere in between. If we had a first round pick, that's who I'd say fire on. But anyway, I do think it will be Dallas at 26. But don't be surprised with a team like maybe the Falcons. I mean, they have their running back. I feel like they have their running back in Tyler Algier. He's raw too. I really like him. But I saw some mocks earlier of them Falcons taking him at 8, which is really interesting. But at the same time, it's not too far-fetched. But 26 to the Cowboys makes sense for me. Anywhere else between might be a little early. Just depends on the situation. But Bijan Robinson's a guy that's really intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, Bijan is a great guy. I mean, I would love for the Bills if he fell, or at least we can try to get him. But we did pick up Damian Harris in the offseason, which is another guy that's like just kind of a copy and paste of Devin Singletary. I mean, we got rid of Devin Singletary. That's right.
You guys like that style of running back. You guys get that style of running back like every single.
I guess, but
it works. I mean,
yeah. So another player I like and I think is going to be a good player, a good sleeper, maybe second round, third round running back, is Sean Tucker. Out of Syracuse, man, he is just. I was watching film also on him, and he is just so good. He can run. When he gets open field, he just is so fast.
Yeah, he's electric.
And another guy I like is also another sleeper running back is the Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State. The little short dude, bro. He's short, and like I know he's super short, but I feel like he can have some potential. He's like 5'5".
Yeah, 5'5".
And there's a basketball player on Kansas State, and they're like, they have to be 20.
Dude, that's what I was about to bring that up. I think it's like the same person. It's just like Deuce Vaughn playing basketball. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But he is raw. Yes. Deuce Vaughn. I'm telling you, it's a good running back class. But Bijan clears top for sure. And then after that, it's every man for himself. I mean, they're so good. But a guy I feel like could be like an Amon-Ra St. Brown, like not in terms of play, but like in terms of dropping on the board. Amon-Ra was like 100 and something, like 120s, 130s, maybe something like that. Is Tank Dell. All right, receiver out of Houston. Tank Dell, short, electric. He kind of reminds me of Amon-Ra. He's very, very fast. He's like a Kadarius Toney in my type of eyes. Like I think Tank Dell, I think like a little bit shorter Kadarius Toney. The way these people move at like unreal rates. They're like no ACLs, just bouncing around the field, doing whatever they want with their knees, looking like they have no care in the world about arthritis when they're older. They're just running and flying around the field. Tank Dell could go to anyone. I mean, anyone could pick up a receiver late in the draft, so he could be a good developmental piece. You saw how the Chiefs used Kadarius Toney in the Super Bowl on those little whip out routes. So Tank Dell, you can get him the ball and he can fly in open field. So that's another sleeper. Out of Houston, yes.
Yeah, dude, he's like 5'8".
Yeah, he's another.
He's kind of short, but like.
Nowadays in the NFL, if you're fast and you can make a man miss, they're gonna give you some pads and a helmet. They don't. There's some ballers in this draft. Some short kings for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the Bills, and I'm gonna go O-line. I'm gonna go with the guy O'Cyrus Torrence, man. He
Florida
is so like he's good. I don't remember the stat, but it's like he didn't allow a QB pressure or a QB sack like all year. Or, like, throughout his, I mean, and he's gonna fall in the draft.
That's
And
in the
like,
that's in the SEC too.
we need linemen. We're weak on the line, and I just like he's just a guy that I think we could have potential in getting, or
I
a
mean,
guy that.
to have like no quarterback pressure in the SEC,
Mhm.
that is crazy. And speaking of SEC, Auburn. Wait, did I just scuff that? SEC Auburn. Tyree Wilson. That's Auburn, right? No, that's Texas Tech. I'm thinking of Derek Hall out of Auburn. Derek Hall and Tyree Wilson. They kind of remind me. They similar play. Both big edge rushers. Both fast off the line. Both disrupt the quarterback and give him
Mhm.
a bad day. These the Pro Bowl, Senior Bowl was very interesting to watch this year with all the great lineman prospects versus all the great edge prospects. I mean, you had like Jalen Carter, you have
Yeah.
I just mentioned Tyree Wilson, and then some others, Derek Hall, of course, and then just stud offensive linemen like Peter Skoronsky, Osiris Terrence, Broderick Jones. It's
Mhm.
loaded on both sides of the draft this year. It's loaded at like pretty much every position. I love every position. It's gonna be a good draft. It's gonna be a really, really, really name drop draft. You're gonna notice like a lot of people going late in the rounds. It's gonna
Okay,
be fun
so
to watch.
we have someone like C.J. Stroud, right? He is you could say top one, two, three, top three quarterback, one. Um,
Too.
but the thing is, it's just like with these quarterbacks coming out of college, coming out of the big school like Ohio State, your offensive line is going to be good.
Yeah.
In the NFL, there's teams out there that don't even like have like literally paper bags chilling there, waiting for their QB to get sacked. I don't understand how it happens
Texans.
without like the.
Sorry, had to sneeze.
It's just like it's CJ Shroud. You have Broderick Jones, Deshaun Jones, and Paris Johnson, and if they go to if they're both on Ohio State, CJ Stroud's on Ohio State. If CJ Stroud goes to a team with a bad offense line, you don't know how he can improve. You
I
don't
mean,
know
yeah,
how he can play.
you just named like two first round offensive linemen.
Yeah, I
That's
mean they have a good offensive line.
it's crazy. And Ohio State always has like elite receivers every single year. I mean, we were talking about that the other night. Ohio State. If
Yeah,
you're a quarterback at
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State, you're no short of a great offensive line and great receivers and running backs. Ohio
Let's just
State has
say
running backs too.
CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's gifted.
Yeah.
That's just like, but you don't always get that in the NFL. There's a few teams that have a very good offensive line and a very good receiving core. Teams like teams like the Texans. If you're going to the Texans, you have no one. You're
No.
stranded alone. You have Devin Singletary in your backfield.
You have John Mechie.
You don't even have Brandon Cooks anymore, I don't think. I think he got traded over the offseason. He
Got
got
traded
cut,
to the
right?
Cowboys. Traded to the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, you have no one.
No. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's and CJ Stroud. If Richardson's that one,
I don't even know if they have a coach yet.
I don't know either. I haven't. But if Anthony Richardson's that one, CJ Stroud's the two to the Texans if they don't take Young. So this is like very realistic. Even if Bryce Young is that one, CJ Stroud's still two to the Texans. I think at the end of draft night, at the end of the first round, CJ Stroud's a Texan. I don't really see him anywhere else. Which I hate to do that to someone.
One to Young,
One
or
one Young, maybe four Young, maybe
one. You think the Panthers have looking at CJ Stroud a lot, but it's just
Panthers are in a position of whatever they want to do. They can do anything.
Richardson is just like a very like Cam
Hit,
Newton-y,
hit or miss.
so
He's very hit or miss. But I
and
feel
he's
like
like
it's
the same as Cam Newton. So if you put him on a team like the Panthers, who Cam Newton got drafted by, it's like
I feel like if you hit, you really, really hit with a guy like Anthony Richardson. Like he's gonna bring that level of play Cam Newton brought. And that's insane to say. MVP 2015. But I feel like he's gonna bring that type of play back. He's exciting to watch.
you're a quarterback. These college quarterbacks are going into the draft. You
Yeah.
got top four quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks drafted in the first round. You
Yeah.
got the Panthers and the Texans. Those are two teams that have the Panthers wide receiver one right now is Adam Thielen. This dude's like 30 something years old. I mean he's a good player. Like he used to be like wide receiver two. He's a good wide receiver two. They don't have a good enough wide receiver one.
Yeah, I mean, who else? They got someone else. Oh, they got DJ Chark. That's what they got. DJ Chark,
Yeah.
Adam Thielen, and Terrace Marshall Jr. So,
Mm.
what a receiver core right there.
Have you seen how many players have been getting suspended for the gambling?
Oh yeah, I saw that the other day. It's
Like
a
the
lot of
Lions, like
Lions players, yeah.
yeah.
And going back to CJ Stroud on Ohio State with all that gifted stuff, he literally has Travion Henderson, and he had two great running backs too in that backfield too. His offense was nothing short of exceptional. So, Marvin Harrison Jr. too.
I was watching some Will Levis in class today because I was just like, I like Will Levis, I guess. And there was a receiver, I can't remember his name now, but he literally threw every pass to him, and it was like number 2. But and I looked him up if he's in the draft class. The dude's a freshman. So in a few years from now, and you hear about this dude from Kentucky, he's gonna be him. Here, let me do.
I mean, Kentucky does have some dogs. I don't know how much mayonnaise number 2 fits in his coffee, but just
Barry and Brown.
Barry and Brown. All right, we'll
Barry
come
and
back.
Brown.
We'll come back when we're doing mocks in 2 years. Barry and Brown, come back to this video. All right, Barry and Brown is gonna be a stud. Barry and Brown is going to be a top.
Keep that posted.
It's gonna be a top 10 pick. All right, Barry and Brown. But
He's gonna pass this from a dude that's just jacked up on mayonnaise.
jacked up on mayonnaise and banana peels but all right, right here, right now, I want to say something. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going top 5 next year's draft. 2024 NFL draft. Marvin Harrison Jr. is top 5 pick. Maybe when the 49ers suck a little bit, like in my prediction, if they do end up getting like a top 5, top 10 pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. next year, right there, another target. But who knows about that? I mean, those have been our draft analysis, our draft predictions. You saw our hot takes earlier. You can flame us in the comments, come back to this if we were just completely wrong. And also, NBA basketball, if you guys even care about that type of stuff. I know we do. It's going to be fun to watch. Kings in 6. We appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to keep God number 1.
I got one thing to say.
Like, subscribe. Connor has one more thing to say.
We probably have a mock draft coming soon because the draft's coming, right? So
Probably.
We got to do a draft. Mock draft coming soon.
We'll have the official final mock draft come to you Wednesday, day before the draft. So look out for it. All right. But besides from that, keep God number 1. Like, subscribe. We're out.